The series is called From Seed to Paper.
Okay.
You want to introduce yourself to the folks? You'll be episode number 8.
Okay, my name is Rudy Sanchez. I live in Guadalupe County in New Mexico, Nuevo Mexico, the land that's been known for all the different cultures,
Yeah.
especially the indigenous and other Spanish inhabitants that came here in the early part. And then we had the white Europeans that came into this area. So we have a mixture of everything here. And our land and irrigation has already been mixed with all kinds of development for different types of things. And as you all know, water is a major source of human life. And the people here in Guadalupe County have been trying to manage our systems. And that's basically what we're doing. There's been a lot of loss of land, irrigatable acres,
Right.
to other parties and what have you. And now people, because of marijuana and hemp, have been able now to start getting into the other industry of cultivation of cannabis in whatever form. So this will mix in with red chili, green chili, and it's time for the CC camps to come back.
Oh, yeah.
From the 1930s.
Yes,
Yeah.
WPA, all of that stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
These young people have to be taught to work out into their culture fields, what I call them, where they have to learn out like they did in the 30s. People were starving, skinny, and then the government came in with the WPA programs and the other
CCC.
the CC Conservation Corps programs.
And these were not just checks to your account.
No,
These were
no.
skill acquisition.
This was if you wanted to live, you had to work.
Yep.
And
Meaningful
the youth,
work.
The youth from the age of 16 to 26 or 24 were taught basic training and what have you, and they were fed well. There were pictures before and after, and you could see the difference
Right.
on their diet, on their health, and everything else. So that was the first exposure, and eventually those people ended up going into World War II, which of course was a war that came out of World War I because Woodrow Wilson kind of screwed that up during the influenza where he got sick.
Yeah.
And did not want to address the issues. Neither did he want to address the issues in Europe with the other
Where Germany got left on
other
the ropes.
powers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
now that was a come of the rise of the
Wehrmacht?
socialist states, of those type of socialist type of things in those days. Now we have different types of socialistic programs. You got your Social Security. You've got your
VA.
Medicare.
Yeah.
You've got all these programs. And if you don't have that, you don't have no stimulation in our world economy because it's all global. And by the way, we need more immigrants to come into this country if we're not going to put our own people to work through the style of the CC camps.
Yep.
Hey, kiss your planet goodbye. Amen. That's me.
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
I come from the Northwest. I come from Cascadia, Washington State.
Uh-huh.
I've grown cannabis and hemp there for the last few years. This is my first season in Guadalupe County. Now my friends, my homies back in the Canna family here, New Mexico, and think, oh, it must be like a kid's sandbox. How do you grow anything? This is not what I thought until I came here the first time. How would you explain cultivation, the soil, the water, the terroir in Guadalupe County to someone who's never set foot in the land of enchantment?
Well, you want to study the whatever the old timers here have known for years. You want to interview some of those people, some people that have had experience with these type of soils here, and then you also want to read or whatever the government has put out.
Right.
And is there any lies in that? And what was there any cover-ups? You got to expose that in order to progress.
Oh, yeah.
into these ventures. But that's one way to gain the knowledge here.
Right.
Research by interviewing, talking to people, and then by reading whatever is available through the government agencies, whether it be the federal or the state agencies.
Or the county, yeah.
The county.
Yeah.
It all starts with the local governments, as
Sure.
we all know, yeah.
So people think I have nothing to work with because it's the desert in New Mexico. I say that there's enough water here to support people scuba diving down the street. Which
Well-
people are just stopped in their tracks.
Well, people, back in the old days in 1938, the town of Santa Rosa used to promote itself as, come visit our sinkholes.
Yes.
In Mexicano, cenotes.
Cenotes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cenotes.
Yucatan and Florida
Yeah.
have cenotes.
And at that time we had we still do, the dry sinkholes at the edge of town. Santa Rosa is one cenote in itself.
It's all on a bed of
it's
limestone.
6 miles in diameter.
Yeah.
And it starts from 6 miles out, and then it goes up to the truck stops of America and what have you in that area. And on the bottom of Santa Rosa sinkhole, we have the wet sinkholes.
Yeah.
The world famous blue hole where people come to scuba dive and what have you. And by the way, that was another 1931 program that came in to develop the wetlands here in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. And they developed it into a federal fish hatchery, which is the blue hole. So the blue hole...
Hold on, that was a fish hatchery first?
It was a fish hatchery. There was 21 ponds around the blue hole, and that water came for the fishery ponds. It all came out of the blue hole. And of course, there were already natural springs inside that area because it was a wetland. But this was all done by wheelbarrow and shovels and what have you, and it was done by mule and anything they could get a hold of. And that federal fish hatchery operated till 1964 when the state of New Mexico built the one under the state of New Mexico, and it's still across the Pecos River. The Department of the Interior donated that land of the blue hole to the city or town of Santa Rosa. And that was to be used for recreational purpose, which they have since 73 been using it for swimming, scuba diving, and what have you.
So the soil here, limestone derived, minerally.
It's a mixture of millions and millions of years, as you can see the stratas, you know, on the
rocks.
On the rocks there, it's a mix. It's an old soil. People in New Mexico have been living here for thousands and thousands of years.
Right.
They've existed with corn, squash,
beans,
chili, beans, you name it. People have lived here. And sure, there has been epidemics that have wiped out tribes in those days, just like what's going on now. People that don't want to get vaccinated, they're getting wiped out. So people have lived here on this soil. I mean, the Spaniards, when they came over, Spain abandoned them. Mexico forgot about us, so they had to exist with the Pueblo Indians. And that's where you get your mestizo, chicanos, whatever you want to call yourself.
Yeah.
There are some Hispanics that do consider that they're all pure Spanish from
Iberia. The old country.
And the old country. And I tell them, maybe your ass is white, but most of your skin is Native American.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to edit that.
Oh, I know. Well, no, this is...
Oh, this is just for you.
No.
No.
So hold on. No, so I'm 3 feathers.
Where am I going? You're my agent, cabrón.
No. So LeBlanc, you know, both sides of my family are 3 feather. European, indigenous, African. The posse includes, you know, First Nation, Chicana. My graphic designer, Le Petite Fille Chinoise. She's Chinese American. I don't know. I live in Cascadia. It's a port city. Everyone's everything. It ain't no thing. We hit it head on. And our thing is, so my sister company, Route 108, you know, Tyler's AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander.
Wow.
Dude, if people don't like jive with us and have some issue with us, you can step off.
I was telling him till Donald Trump came in, you know. I had forgotten that when I used to hitchhike back and forth, because I didn't drive till I was 26 and I stayed in California till 26, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to hitchhike back. And I had forgotten that once in a while somebody would tell me, hey, Mexican, go back where you came from, or dirty Mexican. And while I was hitchhiking, all that was erased, you know. I kind of left it out because I came from the civil rights and other Chicano movements in California back to
the Brown
Santa Rosa,
Berets?
New Mexico. No Brown Berets. I was a photographer, basically. I was a freelancer. I took pictures for my
what years is this?
Teatro de la Gente theater group that I belonged to. This was back in 60, 70, 71. No. You had Black Panthers in the Bay Area. Those were
But the
those were
brown-
blacks. The Black Panthers.
But the brown
Oh, the
Panthers.
brown berets. Yeah.
Brown berets.
Yeah, that was.
not brown panthers.
No.
No, brown berets.
Yeah, there were brown berets.
There's a
And,
whole coalition.
It was just a different thing. Every minority group had their
American
their
Indian
group. You
movement,
had-
the Young
and
Patriots.
that's what brought everybody
Yeah.
together. You know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
used to work with AIM, American Indian Movement. We worked with all kinds of black groups, white liberal groups. You know,
Oh, yeah,
back
yeah,
then
yeah.
they called themselves socialists and the radical this and the radical that. Which of course you couldn't blame them.
Start
People
spreading.
were pissed. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
People were pissed
All right,
off
cool.
at
Yeah,
what was
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
Well, thanks, buddy.